evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be. My name is Marva B. I am the CEO and founder of Black Link Magazine, and I'm so excited to be here. So excited to have Mr. Marcus Boyd with us. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Welcome to Black Link Magazine.
I am honored to be on this major platform. I'm honored to be with you as well.
Thank you so much. I was anticipating this interview. I read, all about you. I did my due diligence and I love what you're doing. So kudos to you for that. So let's just jump right in and just tell the world who you are and what you do.
I am Marcus Leonardo Boyd. I have autism and I am the first African American with autism to win 7 awards for being an autism activist. I am a clothing line owner with the A Collection. I have a shoe line called G Souls. Shoes is the very first spiritual tennis shoe. I am a book author. I'm a coloring book author. I am a music producer, composer. I have 13 music awards. And I'm an international keynote speaker.
You do a lot. And so I just want to talk about that because when you think about autism, people have their views on what autism is without really educating themselves and knowing, really what it is. So let's talk about it. And if you can go all the way back and let's talk about when you first realized that you had it. Because, as a small kid, you don't realize it. But then when did you realize it?
Well, I got diagnosed April 12th, 1993 at Clifton Springs Mental Health Center, Dr. King. That was in Decatur, Georgia. And, I was 10 years old. And when I noticed the difference, I was like 14, 15 years old. Because, I was nonverbal until I was almost 13 and a half. So I started speaking at a 2-year-old's level at that age. I didn't start speaking the way I do now until I was almost 18. So the thing is, it's like I was on different medications and, 11 different doctors in 2 different states said that basically the left side of my brain doesn't function correctly. So, I would be basically a walking human vegetable. I would never graduate. I would never put on my own clothes, never cook for myself, never stay by myself. But my grandmother was a 4'8", 4'9", Jerry curl wearing praying woman. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
You got to understand this is the early 90s, late 80s. So her Jerry curl did drip. She didn't use Soul Glow. She didn't use Soul Glow. She didn't use it. so she carried holy oil in her big purse. We talking about the Mary Poppins purse, where you used to go to Ryan's, and that's before Golden Corral. You used to go to Piccadilly's and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, I'm showing my age.
I already see where this is going. I already know, and I love it. I'm trying to be serious, but I love it because the fact that looking at you and talking to you, you would never know that. And so how did you, when you realized it at about, you said 13 years old?
About 13, 14 years old, I realized I was
different. When you realized, what did you notice? What was it that you said, okay, this is different?
I'm not gonna lie, it was my classroom. Okay, because it was 4 of us. And then when I walk past in the hall and I see the other classes, it's a bunch of kids in that room. But my room only had 4 kids and we had 2, 3 TVs. In the other classrooms, they didn't have no TV. Right. So I'm trying to figure out why my classroom got 4 kids and we going on field trips to Burger King, the mall, Chinese buffets. We going to the zoo. The other kids ain't going to the zoo. Why we on the small bus? And why they on the big bus? Like, I'm not understanding. Why we going to the Special Olympics? What other kids running there? Why we getting red and blue ribbons? Like, I'm not understanding. Please help me understand.
Oh, look, listen, let me tell you something. I have to keep my lashes on, okay? Yeah. Okay, so so that is different. But it was something in you that motivated you. And I believe in the power of prayer. And I was going to say this a while ago that, that was what the doctors were saying, but it wasn't what God was saying for you, right? God had a whole different plan for you. So what sparked the fire in you and said, I'm not going to be this, along with the prayers, I'm not going to be this. And then look at you today. Like, what was that thing?
My grandma and my sisters. It was my village. It was my tribe. So my grandma she used to spray holy oil on doctors and nurses saying that this is not my grandson. This is not his in all. This is not going to be his life.
Right.
So after she got kicked out of multiple hospitals, again, because you just can't put holy oil on doctor officials. Everybody don't go to church, so they don't know they're spiritual.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my grandma got the big white Bible, with the little yellow highlights in the big white Bible. I mean, I read Muzzy, hooked on phonics. I mean, I Courage the Cowardly Dog. I mean, Big Red Dog, Curious George. I mean, my sisters used to do sticky notes and names everywhere. They didn't care if I had an emotional behavior. They didn't care if I used the bathroom on myself right there in the kitchen. Guess what? When you done, we gonna pine saw this kitchen, and guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna learn to read.
I love it. I love it. I love that. And it paid off. And so that's amazing. And it is important that the people around you, your village around you, and the people that love you, that went the extra mile for you during that time, because it was a process getting to where you are today, and you've made some huge leaps and bounds. What was some of the difficulties in that? And can you talk a bit about what actually autism is?
Okay, so the definition for autism is like it's a neurological or brain, like your brain communicates differently. You respond differently. You communicate differently. Your sensories, you see stuff different than somebody else.
Right.
Your communication, you may be nonverbal, or you may be high functioning. So there's different levels to the spectrum with autism. It's not like a different disability where you would know physically that person has a disability. With autism, it messes with communication, the way that you learn, the way that you, with your sensories, the way that you operate. So it messes with your brain. It messes with the brain more so than your physical.
Right.
With your daily functions more than your physical. But there's nothing wrong with anybody with autism. Right. The thing is that we have to stop looking at the label and look at that person being able to do something, because it's just a label. It's just like bipolar. It's just like depression. It's just like PTSD. Those are labels, but that don't make it like that's the whole person. That's just part of a person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And how difficult is it for you to teach other autism or get other people that have autism excited about it as you, that I may have this disease, but this is not the end all be all for me, like your grandmother was saying?
Well, Miss B, I don't want to say nothing, wrong or whatever, but in the autism,
say what you want to say.
Right, we don't use the word disease.
Okay.
So I have people hitting your inbox up like, girl.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Teach me.
We don't use the word disease. So like, that won't be a good thing. Okay. but it's not a disease, but it's just a different way of looking at life. It's just a different way of being. It's more of a superpower. It's more like an extra ability. You understand what I'm saying? So with autism people, sometimes even in the autism communities, you're gonna have your good people and you have your bad people, whether it's autism, breast cancer, lupus, whatever it is. You have your good people and you have your bad people. Mm-hmm. So in this almost 6 years, I mean, it went from death threats to the monkey on nooses to, I mean, oh my God. We don't want to hear from you to me like for the past few weeks experiencing cyberbullying. So I mean, like it's a good and bad thing, but I will never quit it. I wear my flag proudly. I'm a proud person with autism, and I'm gonna continue to be a voice and help spread light and hope for the next generation with autism.
Right. You are also an international speaker. Tell me how that connection happened. Congratulations on that.
My first international video, I did an international video 2019 in London with the National Autism Society that's in London.
Right.
So I was able to be on video with multiple leaders and doctors and physicians and medical personnel in London to talk about my story and to answer questions and to talk about how autism affects America versus London, the
Right.
difference.
Right.
And it went from London to Philippines to Asia, from Asia to Australia, from Australia to South Africa, from South Africa to China, from Dubai to, I mean, we've been we've been doing this for a very long time, 10 different countries.
So whenever you talk about the differences of America and out of, international countries, what is the big difference?
I think that in some countries like Dubai, London, South Africa, they look at it more on an experimental side, and we look at it in America more on a life, daily basis. This is how we operate, and this is a part of our life. In some countries, they look at it mostly the same way, but in some countries, they look at more of the healing and curing advancement
Right.
of autism. Some states here look at for the cure too, but there is no cure. The thing is, you learn how to live with and operate with autism. I'm 40. 10 more years, I'll be 50, still with autism, still have emotional behavior, still have sensory issues, still have color texture issues. I mean,
It is what it
and
is.
I'm almost 50. So I'm sorry, it's not a Magic Johnson situation where you can just pay a bunch of money and you ain't gonna have HIV no more. You still going to have autism. This is what this is.
Yeah. Ooh, I love it. Like I'm just floored. Like I'm sorry if I pause a little bit, but
No problem.
I'm just in awe for the way that you're functioning. And it's probably because like I'm one of those people that haven't educated myself, right? And so I'm seeing that you function well. And I did a story about a little boy, a younger boy, he was in junior high with that had autism, and his mother and how she struggled, with the raising a single mother with this autism. But he is thriving and they're doing amazing. And then here you are with your story. So I can't wait to share with her your story. That makes chills go through me because he
We
can.
have to understand. We have to understand. Mark has been through 17 foster homes, 16 group homes, 16 mental institutions, electrical shock therapy, many different experimental medications, psychomatic drugs, stuff like Ritalin, Paxil, Depakote, Seroquel, Zoloft, Depakote. I mean, it's just a lot of different stuff from childhood up. I mean, I didn't stop going to therapy till I was 21, 22. I was having struggles with using the bathroom on myself till I was like 19, 20.
Yeah.
I'm 40.
Yeah.
So, it was more so of let's just lock Marcus up. Let's put him in mental institution. He don't want to take his medicine, so he got to experience electrical shock therapy. He got to experience a quiet room. He got to experience having, a mental jacket put on him because he's refusing to take the medication. Or let's stick him in his buttocks with a needle to force the medication inside of him.
Yo, how did you break from all that? How did you get away from all of that?
Well, I became real homeless first. I mean, it's a story.
I'm here for it.
It's a story because I stopped going to hospitals. I don't want to, keep saying they mental institutions,
Right.
but I stopped going to hospitals when I was like 18, 19.
Uh-huh.
And after that, I turned to the streets. I
Uh-huh.
started doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to do
Right.
in the streets. And, I paid my my debt to society for doing wrong actions.
Right.
You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know, which I'm not proud of, which
Right.
I'm not endorsing.
Right.
But I made my mistakes and I paid for them.
Yeah.
So in that time, I was homeless, going to state, stuff like that. Sleeping in dumpsters or sleeping in abandoned homes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So the thing is, how did I get out of it? Was like somebody, a good friend of the family, let me stay with them. I was in where was that? I was in New York first, then I went to LA. So I stayed with them. Then I got involved with the Covenant House. From the Covenant House, I got involved with a church out there in LA. And after that, I came back to Georgia. and I was able to really get on my feet.
Yeah.
But my story again, in and out of homelessness and all this other stuff, in and out of jail or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want people to really understand, just because I 6 years ago chose to become an autism activist, that don't mean that I don't have a past. That don't mean that God didn't bless me to come from something, because you can't talk about your trial if you never had tribulation.
Come on. Come on. Everything we experience in life, it was, and I say this, it's because God has a plan for our lives. And sometimes people are embarrassed to tell their stories. We all have a story. We all have a story, and it's all for a reason. And that's when I was always afraid to tell my story, right? But the moment I told my story, it was like a release. And then people was like, come talk to me here. Come talk. You gotta share.
But you don't know how many people, Miss B, you're touching. How many international markets? How many people in the United States? How many people need a Miss Marva story? How many people is going through what Miss Marva came out of, what God blessed her to come out of? See, our job is to help educate somebody else that went through it's going through the same thing we just went through.
Absolutely. And no matter what it looked like, it's okay. He brought you through. He brought you through. So let's move forward. You talked about having awards. You're a music producer and composer. How did that come about? That's amazing.
We was poor. So, I mean, if you come from the projects, I was living in New York and Atlanta, Brooklyn. So if you come from the projects, you only got two things: is music and church. Sometimes they go hand in hand, church and music. so I was poor. I was welfare line poor.
Yeah.
Pork in the can, government bologna, government cheese pork.
Yeah. It's real. It's just real. Yeah.
So my grandma said, all these kids, you either gonna go to church or you're gonna go to the Girls and Boys Club. There's no option. There's no option. You going to church. So my musical background came from church. It came from Mr. Scott teaching me the organ. It came from Mr. Anderson. It came from, different people seeing something more in myself that I seen, because I didn't know notes and instrumentations or sounds or BPMs or melodies or harmonies. I didn't know how to blend or mix, so I didn't know how to do nothing. So these people looked past my disability and said that he's going to do something.
Wow.
13 musical awards later, 24 years later, we here.
Was it difficult learning those instruments and learning the mixing and mastering and all that, as as someone with autism? Is it more difficult to learn?
Yes, because I started with the free instrument. Listen, if you poor, they used to give you a free instrument. It was called the wooden flute. One.
Yeah.
They used to give you a wood flute. It was free.
Yeah, I had one. It was free.
So I started with the wood flute. So they said, if you can play and master that, you can master any instrument.
Right.
So somebody, my sister and other people in my village helped teach me how to learn instrumentation. The theory, they taught me music theory first. They taught me music comprehension first, not just how to play an instrument.
Right. Okay. And then once you did that, it was obviously you went to church. You chose to go to church, or the boys club. You chose church.
I had church because I went to, this is before the movie. I was in band camp. That's when summers used to be 3 months. They used to let you leave your school for a whole 3 months, not 3 weeks, 3 months. You was gone for 2.5 months. I was in summer camp, upstate New York. I was learning how to play the trombone first because my sister went with me to summer camp to help with my vocal, to help with, because she didn't want, they let my sister Big Patty sleep in the boys' dorm.
Right.
They let her sleep in the boys' dorm. Because that's besides the point. Love you, Patty. That's besides the point. But they let her sleep in the boys' dorm. You know what I mean? So she was my voice. Yeah. Because I was nonverbal. Right. And she basically told me, you're going to blow and learn this trombone. Mm-hmm. And when I was shaking my head, no, and she forced my lips on the trombone, it was either that or get beat up. So,
Yeah. Okay. And so you went on to, so how did you like the awards. Like, tell us a little bit about the awards and how you were selected as a nominee, or however that happened.
Okay, so I got two BMI ASCAP awards.
Okay.
I have Music Producer of the Decade. I have two Music Producer Awards from Atlanta. I have two Music Producer Awards from LA, two Music Producer Awards from New York. Producer, I have two Music Producer of the Year awards. And see, these are nomination-based awards.
Right.
So which means there's about 3 to 4 weeks you have to be nominated. Somebody got to have to vote. You can't use the same email. You got to use a new email every time you vote.
Yep.
Every time you vote. So this goes on for weeks. And then like the three people, that's the top three people, you got to vote for them. Like one person gonna win out of the top three.
Right. Right.
So I have 13 of them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
as well. So what do you have going on currently?
Well, I mean, we're working on autism, and we're working on Supermarkets, the Autism Squad, the comic book. It's going to be like X-Men. It's going to be 50 pages. So we want to bring X-Men back, but we want to show superheroes with autism.
Right.
We want to show a team of people that stands for autism awareness and injustice and fights for that.
Right.
And with this comic book, and we're working on the Wayans. That's the very first ever sitcom coloring book. So the same way you watch a sitcom, you'll be able to read this, laugh, cry, learn, have a heartwarming lesson and color at the same time. You'll be able to read and color at the same time. So that's going to be 50 pages too. Okay. And then 2024, I mean, we're working on new stuff with G-Souls. It's the very first spiritual tennis shoe.
Uh-huh.
So it got 2 Corinthians 5:7 on the side.
Right.
So we working on that. I have my radio show, Kingdom Business Radio Show, every Thursday morning from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm just interviewing a bunch of businesses, celebrities, local people, and stuff like that. And we're gonna drop this exclusive 2024. We are going to have a full-length feature film of my life story called The Boy with No Voice. I want to thank Michelle Adams and her award-winning film team in New Orleans and Atlanta. And I want to thank my team. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this is history in the making, because this is the first time you will see an African-American with autism have a full-length story about his life on the big screen. So we're going to start casting and filming 2024. The Boy with No Voice, the movie. It's on the way.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I wish you nothing but success. It's going to be good. That's going to be good. Go ahead and
you gotta come to the premiere. We're gonna bring this to Oklahoma, because a good friend of mine named Mr. Anthony, he does birthday cards for children with autism in Oklahoma. So shout out to Mr. Anthony and the whole birthday team and stuff like that, because he's sending amazing birthday cards from Oklahoma to kids all around the world.
Okay, just let me know. Just let me know. We'll be there. Go ahead and tell. Oh, I'm excited for you. It's huge. That's huge. Go ahead and tell the world how they can connect with you on all social media sites.
Well, okay, so if you go to Instagram, you have Marcus/the/interviewer. Then you have Autism Activist, Marcus Boyd. And on Facebook, you have Marcus L. Boyd, Marcus Boyd. Like, I mean, too many Marcus Boyds. But on Twitter, you have @AutismBoyd. Or people just call me 501-680-0752. I'm not a hard person to find, and I'm an open book.
Right. Well, I thank you. I really do thank you for being here, coming on this panel and speaking. And I can't wait to share with others, just to see, that we shouldn't let anything define us. Right.
Well, I gotta give a special shout out to my rib, my backbone, my everything, my fiance Tremel L. Moore. Without her, I'm nothing. She holds this fort and this team together. Our children, Zamarian, Zadaria, my team, Gary, Raven, Jessica Thompson, Mary Mitchell, John McClung Jr., Tracy Bumpers, Manisha Holiday, Stony Love. I mean, it's just a bunch of people.
Right. Yeah, well, shout out to y'all. What up, though?
No, that's in Detroit. My fiance is from Detroit.
Oh,
That's
is
Detroit
she?
stuff.
Yep, it
Yeah,
is.
she's from Detroit.
It is. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. Go and follow him on all social media platforms. Reach out to him if you want to book him as a speaker, whatever. Reach out to him. Follow him. He's going to be in the magazine, and if that will drop in September the 1st, be looking for that publication that will drop across the U.S. and internationally. So we're excited about that. You guys, we're going to go for now. In the meantime, remember, respect yourself, respect each other. God bless.